Hi everyone, it's Elaine Hamilton from the Reiki Center. This is a short meditation today because I wanted to do a little mindfulness exercise that is quick and easy for you to practice, just kind of like when you're out and about. Like one of the things that I always say to people is it's mindfulness is something you don't just have to make time for. Ideally, you want to start bringing it more and more into your daily life. So this is a classic 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure some of you use this, have heard of it. And it's one of those CBT classics. I think I said classic twice there. Anyway, very, very simple, but we'll tune in first of all, get a bit of Reiki going as well as we do this. When you are doing this very quickly, then obviously you don't have to bring in the Reiki as well, but up to you really. So let's start hands in Gassho, taking a few breaths and just starting to center yourself, noticing the feet on the floor, noticing your contact points, your buttocks and your back against the chair. And every exhale, you're just relaxing the body. And as we inhale, we invite the Reiki attunement through the breath, just inhaling. And as you exhale, just allowing the Reiki to travel down through the arms into the hands, the fingers. You might notice the hands start buzzing, or there's a sensation of heat, or just a general sense of relaxation through the body as the life force starts to flow simply through your intention and invitation. Bringing your hands down onto your thighs and just taking a moment to notice any difference in sensations in your hands or in your thighs. And then just doing a quick body scan, just noticing any areas of stress or tension in the body, just bringing the breath awareness there, exhaling, relaxing. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a classic mindfulness technique because it uses all the senses. So the 5 is 5 things you can see. And the idea of this is to really see it. So oftentimes when people practice this and they say it doesn't work, it's because they just scan the room really quickly and they're not really coming into the room. So when we look at things, it brings us into recognition of where we are. So if you're daydreaming, if you've just come off a social media frenzy and you're just, when you come off your phone and you look around, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? So right now, just looking around the room and allowing your attention to rest on one object. Name that object, whatever it is, and just start paying attention to the colors, the shape of it. Perhaps you can tell the texture, the shadowing, what makes it three-dimensional, what makes it an object. Then looking around you, bring your attention to another object and do the same thing. Name that object. Notice the color, the shades, the boundaries of that object that separates it from other objects or separates it from other things in the room. Then a third object, simply noticing, and noticing as you do this how you are landing in the room. You're grounding yourself now. Looking at a fourth object and a final fifth one. And just noticing the room in general. You are now here in the room, not somewhere else, not in your imagination, not in your mind. And now we're going to turn our attention to 4 things we can hear. And you'll notice as you do this, that you start to come into the body. So the 5 things we can see brings you into the room, into the geography where you are, where the body is. And then the 4 things you can hear brings you into your body because you have to pay attention. If it's quite a quiet room, you might just start off hearing your own ears ringing. You might notice sounds outside the room, birds, traffic. Obviously, the sound of my voice is a third one. And then just one more thing that you notice in the background. Could even be your breathing. And as you do this, every exhale, you're relaxing the body. Now we move on to 3 things that we can sense. So sensations. You could reach out and touch something. So you could touch your desk or the chair or piece of clothing. Notice the texture, the fabric, whether it's cool, whether it's warm. If you're feeling sensations in the body, you might notice your hands on your thighs or the clothing, where the clothing meets your skin, your feet on the floor. Just noticing 3 separate areas of sensation or touch. And then 2 things you can either smell and or taste. Could be one of each. And then finally, 1 big, long, deep breath. And as you exhale, you're dropping the shoulders, relaxing the whole body. And just noticing through this very quick, only took a couple of minutes, very quick exercise. Are you feeling more grounded? Are you feeling more present? Are you feeling more here and now? So we can repeat, just looking around the room, 5 different objects, noticing the textures, the colors, the shade. Might even notice things that you've never really noticed before. Could be quite interesting. 5 things. And notice your own position in the room as well, sitting here. 4 things you can hear. Now, if you live somewhere quite quiet, it might be the same 4 things, but see if you can spot different things. Again, you might become aware of things that you normally don't notice, the buzzing of the computer. Maybe a neighbor chatting, a faraway car. And now moving on to 3 sensations, or things you can touch. A sensation could even be the breath across your nostrils, or the rising and falling of your belly and chest as you breathe. Two things that you can smell and or taste. And 1 long, deep breath. So super simple. I really recommend you practice this several times a day. I do it when I'm at the stoplights, when I'm driving. I do it when I turn on the kettle for a cup of tea, in the shower, when I'm on the toilet, anytime where I'm just stopping and I'm just, instead of running away constantly all day long in my head thinking, it's just these check-in points. And also really lovely to just keep repeating. Doesn't have to be so statically 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like this, but when you're out walking, when you're exercising, when you're doing things that could be done mindfully because there's really nothing to think about in that moment, can be a really, really powerful way to extend the mindfulness all through the day. Because ideally, what you want to do in the end is just be constantly aware of where you are, rather than just in your head the whole day long. You know, the thoughts, there's nothing really there that's very interesting after a while. It is much more interesting to be really engaged with the world around you, where you are, what you're doing, it's a much richer source of grounded contentment. So I know it's a very short session today, but I hope it's helpful. And yeah, one of those classics that is always good. Sometimes it's really good to get the basics sorted out so that then you can start to notice more of what's around. Okay, that's all from me today, and hope you enjoy. Bye. See you next time.